Apocalypse. As you can tell, I'm a fan of the XCOM games. Since I've done Interceptor and Enforcer, I'm still working on Interceptor. But I've also had a few requests to do this game, especially in real-time mode. So that's going to be what I do. I think I'm also going to do half-an-hour episodes with this game because, in my opinion, doing just 15 minutes or so just isn't long enough to get a lot of stuff done, especially in these first 3 XCOM games. So there'll be slightly longer episodes, but I hope you'll enjoy them just the same. I'm going to start a new campaign game. I'm going to do easy mode. Don't want it too easy with novice, but I'd rather not have to worry about running into too difficult situations with these other difficulty levels. And plus, I don't play easy mode or difficulty much, so it's going to be kind of a new experience for me as well. Because every difficulty has a different map and different base layouts, and you also get less money with each difficulty increment. So let's just get started. Alright, welcome to XCOM Apocalypse. I'm going to pause the time right now. As you can see over here, you have your time and how fast you want it to go. You go slow, normal, double, quadruple, and very fast, ultra fast. And here's the city Mega Primus. Fairly large. Kind of see some damage to these buildings already. These are slums. If you click on them, you get some information. The owner's Mutant Alliance, and by the way, there are a couple dozen organizations within the city that you have to deal with. And just like in the other XCOM games, they don't fund you, but they can have their agents raid your bases if they become hostile, or if the aliens take them over, stuff like that. Function is just what kind of buildings. These are the slums. Now, if you were to have agents here, they'd be over here in this section. And if you were to try to investigate the building for alien activity or raid the building, you'd have to move them over here and click one of these buttons. Here you have the equip agent screen or button, just in case you want to change the equipment on your agents before you start a mission. And here you can equip the vehicles that are in the building. So we'll just click OK. And by the way, this my starting funds. You see these little holes right here? These are where the flying craft enter and exit the area. So every building has at least one. Some have multiple. And here we have what we'll eventually find to be called dimension gates. That's where the aliens come from. These right here are kind of like the people tubes in the Jetsons or Futurama. In case you don't want or can't send your troops in vehicles, you can use these, although it's very, very slow. And we have some more buildings, A little history of Mega Primus. It was started sometime after, I think it was during or right after XCOM Terror from the Deep, so sometime after 2040. I'm pretty sure it's after now that I think about it, because I don't want to ruin too much, but something happens in Terror from the Deep, causes the Earth's atmosphere to basically become too toxic and uninhabitable, so Earth has to figure out some way to save itself. Here we have a little police car. It's a hover car. And Megapol is basically the police of this city. Real quick, I'll show you the map, kind of show you the size of the whole city. It's pretty big. This yellow square indicates our base. A little more history. These walls right here are kind of the protective outer layer or shell for the residents on the inside. Because out here, it's all that uninhabitable, toxic area. And inside, as you can see, it's kind of a little place to live. Here's a spot with a lot of these little ship portholes. So pretty big city. There's the Senate building for the government. They're the ones that fund XCOM, and based on how well you do, they'll give you a raise or they'll take away the money. You could also kind of shoot yourself in the foot if you do too much damage to the city, or if the aliens or someone else does too much damage. The Senate pays for all the repairs, and if they're running out of money, you can get some fantastic scores, but they'll still cut some of your funds because they just can't afford to pay you as much. They're repairing too much. Okay, so we'll head back to this base. Here's our base, and this little figure right here shows where our soldiers, scientists, and engineers are stationed within the base. So you have to be really careful, because if this part of the building collapses and they're killed, you lose everybody that was in there. And these slums are not very stable either. It's kind of a bummer to have a slum as your base, but they often have some of the bigger base layouts as well, sometimes a bit cheaper. And the music is excellent in this game, especially some of the action music. I really, really love it. So, let's go ahead and get started with our base. Here's base 1. We can rename it if we want. I usually don't, but whatever. Here we have the vehicle repair bay. If you plan on having vehicles at your base, I would recommend having at least one of these, otherwise your vehicles will not get repaired. And it only holds one vehicle at a time for repairs, and what the game does is cycles through all damaged vehicles in that base. So it won't just repair one at a time, it'll take the time to repair each one a little bit at a time. So if you plan on having a lot of vehicles, it might not be a bad idea to have 2 of these or more so they can repair quicker. But you also have to be careful, because with base defenses, this is one entry point for the enemy. Here we have the medical bay. As you can see on the left, it can hold up to 10 people to heal, and it shows the usage percentage. Your soldiers are automatically put in here when needed, and you can actually still use your wounded soldiers, which is pretty neat in this game, as opposed to UFO defense and Terror from the Deep. In those games, you couldn't use your soldiers until they were fully healed. This one, you can use them as much as you want. General stores, you can hold quite a bit. Workshop, that's where you build things that you need. Alien containment, and you have your living quarters. Training area, this is where your soldiers go to train for physical and combat attributes. Very, very useful and pretty much required. Here's the access lift, another point of entry. These are just corridors where you can actually put different structures. Biochemistry lab, this is where you research basically aliens and organic items. Anything regarding organisms, this is where you research them. Sci-gym, this is where you can train your psionics. there are three types of soldiers. There are humans, hybrids, and androids. The humans, I guess part of the backstory is they just, for some reason, couldn't continue developing psionics very well, so they're very, very weak in the psionic realm. The hybrids are half human, half sectoid. They have incredible psionic stats most of the time, so I usually get at least two of them in each of my games to try to implement psionics a little bit. But psionics are nowhere near as overpowered in this game as the other two. They're handy, but not anywhere near as powerful. So for one, you need line of sight to actually use them, and two, you have psi energy, which I'll explain some more later. But it definitely keeps you in check. And the androids, they have 100% psi defense and no energy or attack because they're androids without minds. So they can never use psionics, and they can never be taken over or panicked or anything by psionics. So that's kind of nice. I usually only use androids when I'm in a pinch for soldiers. Here we have some more living quarters. And here's the quantum physics lab. Here's where you research technology, like weapons, XCOM technology, UFOs, stuff like that. So first, I'm going to start with adding some more structures in here. I'm going to put another general stores up here so I can remove this one, which I'll just do now. I'm going to build another medical bay so I can move this one, because eventually I'm going to put down security stations. And they're basically little internal base defenses, and they're very, very handy to have. I'm going to put some more around this, and I'm going to build another training area so I can move this one eventually. And these numbers indicate how long they have until they're completed. And I'm going to build another biochemistry lab. And since I have the room, another quantum physics lab. And that's because you want to really crank out research as fast as possible, because the better the items, the better you'll do. And believe me, especially once you leave the novice difficulty, you really want to get some better equipment. Okay, so I believe I'm done. I'm going to build out the living quarters too. Okay, now I'm done with putting in some new structures. So I'm going to start with some higher flyer staff. Here are all the XCOM agents we have. They're already pre-equipped with armor and weapons. As you can see, if you look on the left, these are all humans. And look at those psi stats. Ugh. That psi defense might look big, but it's not that big. Very few humans become good at psionics. And the game uses a formula to determine how well and how high the max is for your psionic stats, and it all deals with psi energy. It's something like all your stats can only go as high as double your psi energy or triple or something like that. And with low psi energy, you're not going to get much better, which is pretty much everybody. So that's why I leave all them on the regular training, get all their other stats built up. Here are civilians that you can hire. So currently I have 3 humans I can hire if I wanted to. And those are actually pretty good stats right there. But I'm not going to get any right now. I'm going to wait for some hybrids. Biochemists, don't have any to hire, but we do have these ones. And holy cow, that's an excellent start. You see the skill over on the left? Goes up to 100, and I think the minimum is somewhere around 60, I think. and I don't think I've ever had a start that well before. We have Auto Burger we can hire, and I will. We have these other ones too, like yeah, here you have a 65. That's really slow. Basically what the skill stands for is each researchable item, or in this case right here, every item to manufacture has a certain amount of points you have to accumulate over a given amount of time, and you just add up all those points with all your engineers or scientists or whatever, and that's basically how quickly you can get something researched or built. Yeah, 63. Sorry, James, you're gonna get fired in a little bit. But I'm gonna get Jungo and Jane for now. See here, my living quarters is getting nearly full already, so I want to kind of hold off and try to wait for my hybrids I want to hire. Actually, I will go ahead and get rid of James right now just to make that extra room, because, wow, that's bad. I know the economy's rough, James, but I hate to do it, but you gotta go. I'm sure you'll be useful somewhere else. So when you're done, you click OK. It says you want to confirm orders. You hired 3 units and you fired 1. Yes or no? Yes, I want to confirm that. Okay. So now we're going to go to the buy-sell screen. And I'm sorry if I'm being very descriptive, but given the requests I've had to play this game, I'm going to be as descriptive as possible. Make sure everyone understands what's going on, because this is another XCOM game that just doesn't get the credit I think it deserves. Okay, here we can purchase vehicles. Vehicles to purchase. Up here at the top are the vehicles we can purchase. If it's over on the left, this is how many you can buy. On the right, this is how many you have. Or at least you're buying right now. So if I want to buy a Phoenix hover car, click the right arrow or move the scroll. You know, the quantities change. Of course, I'm not going to do that. I am going to get a couple hover bikes though. Those little guys are real nice at the beginning of the game because they're so small and they fly around. They're hard to hit. They can do a decent amount of damage. Phoenix hover cars are okay too. They're a little bit bigger and less maneuverable, but yeah, in a pinch, they're good to have as well. I do have 2 currently by looking down here. Excuse me. I have a Valkyrie Interceptor, a Storm Dog 1, which we're going to sell because that's a ground-based vehicle, and it's just useless. 2 Phoenix hover cars, and a Wolfhound APC, which we're going to sell as well because it's another ground vehicle. Now, unfortunately, a lot of things could not be finished for this game, and I believe some of those things would have made having ground vehicles worth it. Personally, they're just a waste of space, and they're good for getting money back for free. So we're selling those 2. One cool thing you can do is you can do all of your items all at once before confirming your order. So you can switch back and forth and see what you want to do. Megapole sells these items. Marsec sells some more items. Right now, with the way I play, I'm going to buy a couple more law pistols. I'm going to max out some of my clips here because you just really need to. And you start out with these weapons, so that's why I'm already buying the clips and not the guns. I usually try to switch over to most of my guys using a sniper rifle because look at that accuracy over there, 95. That really helps you out. The only bad thing is the fire rate's really slow, and the ammo, 30 rounds is actually pretty good, but you just fire so slow with this gun. It can be difficult to use, but the accuracy I think helps build your soldiers up more. Okay, we'll scroll down. Megapole Stun Grapple. We're gonna buy all these. Now I'll tell you why. Maybe not in this episode, but in a future episode. It's kind of a little cheap trick to kind of keep yourself afloat at the beginning of the game, but I'll show you later. Medkits, gonna buy some more just for the heck of it, because I will be eventually getting more soldiers. Motion scanners kind of neat, but I don't feel it's very useful. Incendiary grenade, yeah. If you do too much damage to the insides of the buildings, the organizations will start to dislike you and even demand you pay for the damage. We don't need to do that. And down here, last but not least, you have your Megapole body armor and leg armor, all the armor. And as you can see, all the armor is done in 5 segments. So if one happens to get destroyed, you don't have to build a whole new body. You just buy the one you're missing. I think I'll go ahead and buy a couple of each pieces so I can be ready for any soldiers I get. Okay, airborne vehicle and equipment. Weapons controls. It sounds good, but it's really not, because as you can probably see other people saying, if you shoot and the UFO moves, doesn't matter how accurate your shot was, it misses. So it's not really that handy, although I think it helps more with missiles and helps with them hitting their target. Cargo module, don't need that because our Valkyrie Interceptor already comes with one, as well with the passenger module. Bolter 4000 laser gun, decent, does some okay damage, and it has, I think it has so many rounds it's basically considered infinite. Kind of the same thing with the Lancer, it's just a bigger version. Scroll down a little bit more. Here we have Alarium and the Render Plasma Gun. I'm going to buy those, and when I play this game, I buy all the Alarium, because these plasma guns go through a lot of it. Although these ships don't use it as fuel, so that's kind of handy. Eventually, we'll see the Lineage plasma cannon come out. It's just a stronger version of the Render Plasma Gun. This thing sucks up your Alarium very quickly, so make sure you buy a lot, or hint, steal some. I prefer to call it borrowing. Plasma multi-system, that's going to eventually come out too, but it's not that useful, and it doesn't have that many rounds. It's just something that fires very quickly, but I don't think it's worth it. You have some other things, you have some missiles. We'll buy all those because we'll eventually use a lot. You have some more missile launchers. We'll eventually use these too. Yeah. I can't remember if I have those in use right now. Laser defense array, that's for shooting down missiles, which I don't find that handy either. And then you have bigger engines. We'll eventually get to those later. Then fusion power fuel. Now I think the higher the difficulty, the more you use with your craft. But usually when I play the game, I almost never have to buy any more fusion power fuel throughout the whole game. So, yeah, we'll see. Let's add to this. I think we have some stuff we can sell. Yeah, some cannon rounds, some ground-launched missiles. Now we're keeping the Alarium. Okay, I think we're done with that. So we're done shopping for now. So you can see here, we're spending over $16,000, and here's what we have left. So we'll click OK, and we're going to confirm sales purchases. So now all that stuff's going to be sent to this base whenever we exit. Real quick, we're going to head over to Research and Manufacture. We have nobody in these areas right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to send them over here. These ones can only have up to 5 people in them. And we're going to start research here with the dimension gates. And then over here, we're going to start research with a biotransport module. This is what you need in your craft in order to take home or take back to base aliens, whether they're alive or dead. So those are started. You see total skills. We're missing one person here because I fired him. Oops. So we'll click OK. And click OK again. Now as soon as I start time, everyone's going to come over and eventually get back to the base, whatever. People always come in ground vehicles, so they take longer, but everything you buy and sell gets transported with flying vehicles, so they come by pretty quick. Put it on quadruple speed for now so I can show you what it looks like. And see, look at all these things coming to supply us. Apparently there's only 1 or 2 ports here for vehicles to fly in, so that's why they're kind of flying back and forth. They're all waiting their turn patiently. We had a new recruit arrive. I think we have 2 more coming in. So I'm pretty sure that's everybody. So we'll click over here. We'll take a look at what we have. Okay, 94 is going to replace 65. Over here, 89. And 69 is going to get replaced by 86. Alright, so some higher skills now. And you also have the engineering tab. You click to see, for instance, see percentages. You click here to get into that area, which whenever you want. Hostile cars. This isn't really hostile. I just happen to click on it, so it puts it in here so we can track it. You can click that to take off the tracking. I usually just leave it on unless I want to look somewhere else. You can right click and make it disappear. So right now we don't have any hostile craft. But apparently that police officer wanted to take care of that air trans, so yeah, if there's a hostile member flying around, other hostile organizations might shoot him down. It's interesting. Here you have all of the organizations. This is the button for all of them. Here you have your allied ones, government megapole. Friendly ones, that's self. They supply androids. If they get hostile, they won't let you hire any. All the neutral ones, which there are a lot. Mutant Alliance, you have to have them better than hostile if you want to hire hybrids. Unfriendly, Cult of Cyrus, they'll get taken over by aliens eventually. There's really nothing you can do about it, so don't worry about them. Then the hostiles, which we don't have. You can offer settlements as well to make them less hostile towards you. Alright, so here I am centered on this base, and I'm getting close to 30 minutes, so I don't have much time left. We'll go ahead and let's save real quick. Save game. I have a bunch of games I've saved before, and I was playing this one earlier today, and man, I wish I would have started recording with this one because I was doing excellent, but I'll just save over it anyway. And one bad bug that happens in this game, at least through Steam, is the music disappears. So you gotta kind of jiggle this and it'll come back. Your message toggles, if it's checked, and it occurs, it'll freeze the game for you so you can react to it. So I'm going to go ahead and quit for now. I only have about 20 seconds left before I hit half an hour. Man, I can't believe how much time flew. So I'll go ahead and wait till the next episode to show you what happens when we get alerts and other things like that. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.